What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're talking about Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, for Free-to-Play Friday. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you probably have no idea what Hearthstone is, but there's a very good chance that you haven't been stuck in some cave for the last couple of years. So, Hearthstone is Blizzard's premier free-to-play card game. It was released and is heavily based on the World of Warcraft MMO, which is also based on the World of Warcraft real-time strategy game. So it borrows heavily for its core content to theme the cards, and as expansions are added to that game and new content is created for it, so are new items built into Hearthstone, and this gives you all of the flavor for your card as the cards and the ideas for the new expansions. Now, Hearthstone has a ton of other features going for it. Mainly, it's meant to be player versus player deck building. However, the Tavern Brawls were something that was originally implemented to sort of spice up the play that everybody gets to go into. They have made it rewarding to actually jump into the Tavern Brawls by giving everyone a free pack of classic cards whenever you win a game for the first time. So every time a new brawl shows up, which is once a week, you can win a game and get a pack of cards. So it gives you a way to both expand the base of cards that you can use to build your decks and play the game, as well as try out some new gimmicks and modes of play, something different than the standard, pre-constructed player versus player experience. Sometimes it's a player versus player experience with completely random cards. Sometimes, like in this case with Blackbeard's Treasure, which I believe is this particular brawl, you get the option between 3 different cards available to your class, and you can choose one, and that goes directly into your hand. You no longer use your deck. There was a previous brawl where you actually were able to fight cooperatively against a common villain, which basically just tried to murder you both. But they basically just whatever the devs can think up, they will throw into a brawl, and it gives you a very different way to look at collectible card games, especially in an online experience that is heavily geared towards PvP. And in addition to that, there are the single player modes of play, and I want to say that with a caveat because the game introduces you to it through single player, and that's great because it gives you a little bit of time to start to understand the cards. But whereas Feria, which I showed earlier, and granted came after Hearthstone, gives you a significant PvE experience or solo experience where you get to play against AI opponents with various pre-constructed decks, Hearthstone has a variety of adventures, they call them, which are available through the shop, and these will give you sort of a story-themed matches that you have to go through with usually some gameplay gimmicks, like you have to make certain decisions or build your deck a certain way, and they will even punish cards that you may not even know about just when you play them because they would have some unfair advantage in that situation. So it gives you aha moments, a bit of emotion when you play something and then you find out, oh, they immediately counter it for free, and it's less gamey and more a matter of just figuring out how the devs have tried to trick you and, actually having some half-decent cards. So it's a weird situation where you don't really test your skill, so to say, but you try to resolve the gimmicks that the developers are throwing at you. It's not always the greatest experience, but it is interesting and offers, again, a difference in kind from the PvP experience. However, since the daily quests are usually focused around PvP and all of the rewards in the game are essentially won through playing PvP repeatedly, everything except for the PvP and the tavern brawls, which are PvP as well for the most part, feels like kind of tacked on add-on. That being said, Hearthstone is an extremely well-polished game and has a lot of, just a variety of colorful cards and characters. So you can build decks to do a lot of different things, although as far as competitive games go, there's always going to be a meta and you always have to fight it if you are looking to actually move up in rank. So for people that aren't hyper competitive, there are probably a few things that may be lacking from Hearthstone to keep their attention. And unfortunately for people like me, while I can play games competitively and I do enjoy it from time to time, it's not something that I want to do day to day. And because of that, Hearthstone kind of sits for me. And that's not, me riding the game or ragging on it for anything, because for all Hearthstone actually is, it is a very, very well put together product. Just to show off some of the polish of the game itself and the method of obtaining cards, as you beat a tavern brawl for the first time, you will get a card pack. You'll notice that you have defeated the brawl after winning by noticing that that chest is open. When you go to the main screen, you have the ability to then go to open packs when you have them available, or even if you don't, because the shop button's there, and toss them in the center. It bursts open and you can see the rarity of the cards by hovering over the card back. Now, no glow means it's a regular card, common, and then if you do have a glow, you'll always have at least one. It will tell you the rarity of the card. By clicking it, you will see the card itself and which class it belongs to, and then it goes over to your collection. Now, if you take a look at the shop, you will be able to see any current specials as well as available card packs to open. These will be any of the current standard sets, wild sets, or cards that form cards available in the wild format are not available for purchase at this time. It may be something that they want you to craft out of dust, or they may just decide that, if you're not going to use the cards, we're not necessarily going to leave them around. Now, the adventures are, again, those single player campaigns, and while they are available for purchase with real money here, they are able to be purchased within the actual campaign selection menu with the in-game gold. The heroes, or the alternative heroes here, with their glowy golden effects, are all real money only, and so those won't be able to be purchased free to play, which is something that, is Blizzard's prerogative, but other games are starting to make cosmetics somewhat obtainable, but not quite easy. Now, this is the collection, and this is where all of your available cards are going to be. Now, the menus get pretty unwieldy quite easily here due to the large amount of cards that can build up, and you'll get a large amount of pages as your card collection increases. However, the game features a very powerful search system where a single word that exists on the card, whether it be in the name, the flavor text, or in the effect, will allow you to bring the card up, and it will show all classes and their particular cards that contain those words. So it's really easy to find cards that you need when you're trying to build a deck. This is the crafting system, which allows you to create cards from sets that you don't have, or disenchant cards that you do to create dust. The dust itself is what's used to create the new cards. So ideally, you could just collect, say, classic cards through tavern brawls and use those to create other cards from specialized sets. Now, this is a very slow process and would not be recommended if you plan on playing competitively, as the length of time necessary to acquire the cards would be extremely long, and there are some key cards for a lot of decks based on current metas, so it would be a good idea to actually take a look at what's available, what's out there, and what you need, and work towards those if you're not going to spend money. But spending money would probably be recommended for competitive reasons. So if you're looking for actual gameplay, you probably want to check out channels like Kripparrian, Trump, or even some of Total Biscuit's videos. and they would give you a lot more information on the actual gameplay, deck types available, and just, hopefully a good time if you enjoy watching card games. But I'll be signing off for now. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of the game if you played it or wanted to check it out. Until next time, have a good one.